All right guys, so we are going to do a disconnect and a reconnect on a John Deere 1 Series. I have done one of these before, however, judging by the thumbs down, which is about 10% or 15%, it wasn't very good. So hopefully I can do an improved version right now and give you some more detail on that and make it an easier process for you.
Welcome to Good Works Tractors. From snow to mow, Good Works Tractors is the place to go. Shop goodworkstractors.com, subscribe to our channel below, like our Facebook page, and stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so we've got a John Deere 1023e tractor here. You could have a 1025, a 1026. It doesn't matter. They're all going to do the exact same thing. It's the same process here. And so I'll go through just a walk around here really quick on the steps that are involved, and then I'll get on the tractor and show you that way as well. So step one is you want to raise the mower deck up. And so either use your 3-point lever, okay, to raise it up all the way, or if you're equipped with such, the optional independent hydraulic deck lift kit. I've also seen I've had one tractor in inventory that had a little switch actually mounted right here. This is just a voltometer, but there was a switch mounted right here where you could push this, up to raise the mower deck, and then, this part to lower the mower deck. So there's different options there. So step one, raise your mower deck all the way up. Once you do that, if it's not already done, which this one is done, lower it down to the install position, okay? The lowest setting. That's the objective, is to get this mower deck touching the ground. And so if you have it high or medium or whatever, just lower it all the way down to the low setting on that adjustment knob there. After that, you're gonna hop off your tractor seat and you're gonna undo all your gauge wheels, okay? So just undo all 4 of them all the way around. Okay, so we can undo this one here. We'll just do it really quick. There we go. Okay, so at this point you are ready to lower your mower deck down, and so we'll go ahead and lower it right now. You can't raise them up when the tractor's off, but you can lower them down. So with this one, I'm just going to push the lever the other way. Again, because I have that independent hydraulic deck lift kit, which allows this tractor to raise and lower the mower deck with the loader joystick. The caveat to that is, if you had your loader plugged in, you're going to lose one function because you only have 4 ports. So, but typically you're going to mow with your loader off, and so you can it doesn't matter which port. You can plug this one into any of them and it'll work. All right, so next step is going to be to go just like that, all right? And you're just going to release that bar. You can see this right here. It locks in place behind. It's spring loaded. It's going to undo the other side as well. Get it to focus. It's just that bar goes all the way across and undoes the other side as well. And you can see that right down here, okay? See that spring tensioner there? That's actually typically it's going to, when you drive back on to do the reconnect process, typically that little spring is going to give way and this will just pop right back in place on its own. If it doesn't, just hop off the tractor and give the deck a little shimmy, and typically that's going to lock in place right there. Okay, at this point you are ready to back off of the mower deck. You do not need to do anything with this front hanger bracket, okay? So this is just going to simply stay put right here, and as you back up, the black section that's attached to the tractor is just going to go backwards like that, okay? So what you want to do when you back up is you want to be in low range, okay? Don't be in high, be in low. Then also be in 4-wheel drive, okay? That's your 4-wheel drive lever right over there. It's in 2-wheel drive at the moment, so I would move that to 4-wheel drive. Okay, I'd move it up this way. And then after that, you're gonna back up. Pretend you got those beepers on. Back up straight away, okay? And what you can do is you can use this green bar right here, put it on just on the outside edge of your tire here, okay? And just use that as your guide to go straight on and off. And you don't even have to look at the other side. I mean, go ahead and do it. But if you have this lined up straight, you're going to be in the perfect position to back off. So as you can see here, I'm on a smooth, level surface. This is a concrete floor. I know a lot of folks like to do this on grass. However, a yard, at least mine, is not perfectly smooth and level, and so there is some undulation. And the key to this whole concept is being level and flat. You have to have both sides underneath here at the exact same position. You also have the AutoConnect feature, which is that shiny silver stuff in the middle there. The PTO shaft itself, there is a male and female side on that. So all three of these sections here, kind of along the back, going left to right, have to be at the same plane. In addition to that, you've got a little bit more leeway on this front hanger bracket because you can see these are kind of tapered up. And so even if this is hanging down, which is kept in place by a stop and a spring, so it kind of holds its position right there because of that stop and spring. But you have a little bit of play up here because if it catches down here, it'll typically just slide right up and go into the groove. So, but definitely smooth, level, flat surface, and you're just going to reverse all those steps to reattach. So I'll go ahead and go through this, give you a visual of all the steps here as well. All right, so I'm going slow here. I'm just going to do everything step by step so you can see exactly what I'm doing. And then maybe if you're having trouble at a certain step or out of sequence, you can see what I do and see that it works and give this a shot. First step, turn the tractor on. Now I've got this at low idle to try to make it easier to hear me, but what I'm going to do is make sure that my mower deck is raised all the way up. After that, I'm going to take my mower deck height adjustment knob and lower it all the way down to the install position. Sometimes the sticker that's on here is a little bit out of alignment with what's actually happening, so if your deck doesn't look like it's going down all the way, try moving it left or right, an adjustment just slightly there, and see what gets it to go as low as possible. After that, I'm going to hop off the tractor. I'm going to loosen up all my gauge wheels. So all of these gauge wheels are now loosened up. And again, keep the objective in mind all the time. You want to get that mower deck touching the ground, okay? So now I'm going to lower it down. Easy as that. You can see I'm making contact. Maybe you can't see, but I'm making contact on the back. The front is a little bit different elevation there, and we have the front hanger bracket, but contact on the back is what we need, okay? I'm going to go ahead and flip that rear bracket. Again, you just flip one side, it's going to do both sides. So if you do that side or this side, it doesn't matter. It's going to take care of both. At this point, I'm going to hop back on the tractor. I'm going to make sure I'm in four-wheel drive, which is this lever that's tucked down here, okay, kind of underneath the seat, and in low range. And at that point, I'm going to start backing up right over here. You don't have to do anything with the front hanger bracket. You don't have to do anything with the PTO underneath if you have the AutoConnect coupler, okay? It's as simple as that, folks. All right, so let's take a look at this mower deck without it being on the tractor. And so this right here, this is your gearbox. And if you had a manual connect PTO shaft, it'd just be a long PTO shaft come out here with the other end of it that you would attach to the mid PTO on the tractor. With this setup, you have the contraption that part of it is here on the mower deck, and then the other part of it stays on the tractor itself, and that's what's going to allow you to attach at these points, and then also have the mating end of the PTO coupler that's going to slide over top of this as well. Okay, so these are your drive over ramps, one on either side. No need to mess with those at all. You have your gauge wheels you can see all the way around there. You have your Zerk fitting here, here, and here. Okay, and then some pulleys and other systems there and springs and whatnot. Here's a look at your front hanger bar. You can see it's being held up by this spring right here, and it's not allowed to go beyond that point because of this little pin right here. It just kind of is spaced accordingly, so that way it can't go beyond that, all right? If we take a look underneath the tractor, you can see the balance of the AutoConnect system. And so this point right here, and there's one on the other side as well, these are what are going to go into those rear hanger supports on the mower deck. And that little silver bar that we unlatched that fits right behind here, that's the location of it, okay? You can see here the other half of the PTO coupler, all right? And so this is where a lot of folks do have trouble with theirs. If it gets knocked out of alignment, you want to raise this whole contraption up, you know, so the same way you would raise your mower deck. If you're going to be doing utility work with your tractor, you know, raise your mower deck up even though the mower deck's not on there, and then put it in the lock position. It'll be locked in the highest point and kind of keep this out of the way. This is where folks have trouble, and sometimes the initial setups are incorrect. And so you can make adjustments right here, you know, to adjust this angle, the pitch of this PTO coupler. And then you also, whether it's an AutoConnect or not, you have these little hanger bracket adjustment arms here, one on this side and one on the other side, and you can spin these. They're threaded, so you can spin them, you can see that there, one way or another, to adjust your levelness, you know, left to right, okay? And you can see, if you take a look way back there, right there, that is what the manual connect would look like, okay? And so, I mean, you technically have to manually connect it initially when you set up the system, but beyond that, every time you take the mower deck on and off, all you do is just go forwards and backwards. You don't have to do anything. Now, I will say you do have to take this system off if you are going to put a snowblower on, okay? So in the fall, have a good visual of how everything's on here. I'll give you a look up front. You can see that location as well, and it looks the same on the other side. So you gotta disconnect, you gotta disconnect right there. You gotta disconnect right here. You have to disconnect the PTO shaft, right back there, and then same thing on the other side, all right? So just remember how that all goes back together. Give you a little slow visual here, that way if you're troubleshooting in the spring or setting it up for the first time on your own, you can have an idea of how it all goes together. Hey there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and drive back over here. I thought I'd give you a little bit different view as we reattach. And so again, I'm gonna keep the outside of my tire right inside of this green bar here, all right? And come in real nice and square. If you're cockeyed, if this thing is off kilter, you're setting yourself up for disaster. So find a smooth spot, okay? And level. One more thing. Oftentimes, you've had your mower deck off for a while, you've raised up your mower deck linkage arms there. Make sure you lower those all the way back down, all right? So there's gonna be no weight on those arms, and so you may need to lower it to the lowest position, whether it's with your rock shaft, you know, your 3-point control arm, or if you have this independent hydraulic deck lift, one way or another, lower those all the way down to that install position again, okay? And you may have to just get off the tractor and pull them down after they're physically moved to the lowest position, because again, there's no weight on there. There's no mower deck that's pulling those down, and it's just gravity that's gonna pull them down. So you may have to get underneath there, turn your tractor off, put it in park, that kind of thing, and then just pull those down so they are in the lowest position, okay? That's often forgot. So if you look underneath there, you can see you've got that silver bracket there that locked in place automatically behind it. Again, if that does not happen, whoop, I've got my inspector here. What do you think, Rose? Does it look good? What did I forget? I'm not done yet. All right, sorry about that. Just under pressure, you know. But if it doesn't lock in place behind there, simply hop off the tractor, you know, grab a hold of something here, wherever, just shimmy that mower deck back and forth a little bit. Normally that's gonna allow it to lock in place, or you can just manually put your finger back there and then push down in this case and lock it in place that way. So after that, you're gonna go through and just pull these up a little bit and lock them in their original position there. I can't do that one-handed, so I'll put the camera down in a second. And then really, after that, you're ready to mow. You'll just want to adjust it to the correct mowing height again, with your deck height adjustment knob down there to whatever height you were set at before, and away you go. Well, hopefully this video was better than the last one. I didn't get any specific feedback, but I think it was just the fact that there was not really any close-ups and maybe not quite as much detail. I showed it from just afar, so wanted to make sure I went around this specifically and showed you each step there that you have to do. Gave you a look at it up close, with the different components there, a look off of the tractor, and then how it goes back on and off each way there. So again, it's first thing that you want to do is you want to raise your mower deck up, then you want to lower your mower deck height adjustment knob to the lowest position, the install position. After that, you want to get off the tractor, loosen up all 4 of your gauge wheels, that way they're floating free and allowing that mower deck to drop all the way down, which is the next step. Drop it all the way down, whether it's with your 3-point lever here, the rock shaft lever, or if you have one of those optional kits, the independent hydraulic deck lift or the electric, maybe it's electric hydraulic deck lift, I'm not sure. Lower it all the way down, flip that silver latch on the back that releases both sides, then put it in low range, 4-wheel drive, and back up slowly. Again, overall overarching theme is be on flat, level ground. And then really, you just reverse that process to go back on. So some troubleshooting tips. This is not be all end all, and maybe you have a serious problem, but some things to check first. When you're going to reinstall the mower deck, which is typically when the problems happen, it's not normally when you're taking it off, but when you're reinstalling it, make sure you've lowered those mower deck arms, the linkages, all the way down. And they need to be in the install position again, in which you should be raising this all the way up and locking it when you're not using it, okay? It'll keep everything as far out of harm's way as possible when you're using the loader or the 3-point. So when you go to put it back on, get that mower deck height adjustment knob, turn to the install position, move it like you're gonna lower your mower deck all the way down, and then hop off the tractor and get down there and pull on those arms a little bit just to make sure they are down there the whole way. There's no weight on there, it's just gravity, so that's gonna help you out. Especially if you have had those arms in the locked up position, maybe all winter long, if you were snow blowing, they tend to get a little stiff that way, so just help them along that way. Never back on to these mower decks here, okay? So you can do that, and you do that with the X7 series of tractor, but with these, you are going to drive forward on them and then back off, okay? So the X7 series is a similar concept, just a little bit different way that you go about hooking up to it. This same process does apply to the manual connect version of the mower decks that are found on the John Deere 1 series, the 1023, the 1025, the 1026. The only difference is going to be the fact that you would have a manual connect PTO. And so that is a good point and a little bit of a variation in how the delineation of AutoConnect is interpreted. Because all decks have that AutoConnect sticker, that label that's on there. And so at least I get confused and think that AutoConnect really means, in its full extent, the PTO as well, where it mates, where it connects and disconnects on its own. You don't have to get underneath there and monkey around with trying to attach and detach a PTO shaft yourself. So that's my interpretation of it, along with the front hanger and the rear hangers all connecting. Now I think what John Deere's interpretation is when they see AutoConnect deck is simply that front hanger and those 2 rear hangers, and not necessarily the PTO shaft being included in that. So if you are looking at a used or a new tractor, if you're getting a price put together, that's a good question to ask, is to make sure the AutoConnect coupler for the PTO is included. I've added that onto a handful of tractors, and it's somewhere in the ballpark of $800 to do so. It could be a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on your individual dealer, but it's something that it is best having them set up for you. I really don't enjoy doing it, and I've got a tech down here at Greenmark Equipment who is amazing at it. And get yourself a good John Deere dealer with a good tech that knows what he's doing, and he'll have this thing set up just right. So this unit here came in used, and it's set up very well. So there's no issue connecting or disconnecting. I actually have done so probably 6 or 7 times, and I'm going to be taking this out to a customer's house. It is sold, and they want to see how it works as well. And so that's why I'm actually making the video right now, is it was on my mind, because I'm going to take it out there and do that procedure with them. And so I thought, well, good a time as any for me just to make another video while it's all on my mind, and that way I can have all the little tips and everything and bits of advice to give him as well. So anyway, hopefully this helps. Thank you so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my Facebook page, check out my other videos, and take care. We'll see you in the next one.